Welcome everyone back to Fields and Fun. It's Rich here with an update in mid-August now of 2026, and I wanted to give you an update on what's happened this summer and an indication, and I think everyone will be remembering how dry we've had, the weather we've had over the past 6 to 8 weeks. July was a record-breaking low of rain. I can't remember it raining once here in July. There's been no rain through August. It's been record temperatures in the 30s, and as you can see behind me, there's just no grass. It's just a dust bowl. And let me just get the camera and let me just show you some of this here. So what you can see here is that there's just, if you get really close up, there's just nothing here at all. There's just nothing for the sheep, there's nothing for the horses, and you can see these all the sheep poo droppings. None of it's even going into the ground because there's no rain to get it absorbed into the ground, and the whole of this, well, the whole of the two sheep's paddocks are just covered in sheep droppings, and it's just absolutely concrete. So where are we? How have we managed through this period? Well, because we had such a terrible yield on our front field in 2025, we decided we weren't going to cut our own hay. This year, and I just topped it, and we've let it for the horse and the pony to use throughout this year. And we made that decision back in sort of May, June time, June really. And we managed to secure 300 bales for our, remember we've got 20 sheep, so 300 bales or just under at £3 a bale off the field from a local farmer. That's what we secured. You've got to remember that we use our own field. We pay about £3 a bale anyway for it to be cut, spun a couple of times and baled. So it was a no risk option, is don't use our own where there's a risk that it could be really poor, the yield, and we'll just get it straight off the field and it's guaranteed. We know the farmer, we've had hay from him before, so it's a low risk option. So that's what we did back in June. And to be fair, we'd had a pretty strong spring. The grass had grown very well. I think there was an expectation by many of the farmers that there was going to be a second cut as well. So we got the hay, just under 300 bales, and I think the farmers were quite happy with that, expecting a second cut. What they didn't expect is that then we would go into this 2-month window from late June, July, first part of August, of record high temperatures, no rain, and I mean, I can't remember it raining here for over 2 months. There's just nothing. We hear about farmers and how that can affect crops and animals, etc., but it also affects smallholders. I've got 20 sheep that are pets, and I've got a horse and we've got a pony, etc., that have to be now fed. Normally they would have very little feed. It would be lush green grass in the summer months, very easy. The grass is growing quick, the sheep are getting a lot of stuff just from the grass, and it's a low cost option. What I'm doing now, in the 300 bales we've secured, we're having to feed them, and we have been feeding them now for weeks and weeks and weeks to supplement the lack of grass in the fields. So that is absolutely hitting us right in the pocket. They're going through, the sheep alone are going through over a bale of hay every single day. So that is costing us money, but just hay is not sufficing them enough. So what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to pop down, I'll show you the hard feed, because we use this sort of muesli mix, which is about £16-17 a bag. But if you're just feeding that muesli mix, they'll go through that bag in a week. So again, you've got a lot of cost in there. So we've come up with an option, just a bit more cost-effective option, and also to help with the sheep's hydration. So we'll pop down shortly and have a look. But this is just shows how important the weather is now. As I say, we're mid-August. It looks like we've got some rain coming. Temperatures have actually dropped a little bit now. We're dropping down into the sort of mid-20s at the moment. It's not so much the temperature, it's just the rainfall. We just need rain, and we don't want heavy, fast rain, because heavy downpours just wash straight off. What we want is some light rain sustained for a few days, and get it embedded and get it drained into this pretty much hard concrete here that we have in the paddocks. Right, I'm gonna jump in the range. We'll go back down to the barn into the stables, and I'll show you what we're currently feeding the sheeps to get through this this barren spell that I can't recall going through this amount of, well, it's not a drought, but as I say, 2 months of extremely hot weather and just so little rainfall. The muesli mix we use is here, and they really like it, but it's quite expensive and you can get through it really fast. So to supplement that, and also for the fact of getting the sheep to keep hydrated in the really extreme hot weather, we've started using this. It's called Denji grass pellets, and this is about £15–16 a bag. We use 3 big scoops of this mixed with 2 full buckets of water, and that's what you get, and it expands. And this here, so we use 3 scoops of that, so 2 full buckets of water, and then you can mix the consistency, but can you see? And then what we do, it's a nice, what we call slop. It's like gruel, I think, gruel for sheep. Mix a little bit of the muesli mix in there, and we're giving them that twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, to supplement their hay as well. Because we've done a bit of a health check on the bums, and you can feel them, and they do feel a little bit underweight, so I'm not sure they're getting enough. So since we've been doing this now for about 3 weeks, hopefully with the hay and some of the muesli bix, they'll start to get more. And they seem to love it as well. The Gotlands probably more than the Valais, but again, and so do the chickens as well. The chickens love it. Right. Yes, not yet. Another hour yet. So here's some of the sheep's wanting their dinner a little bit too early. So again, just for the horse and the pony, where we would be giving them very light food. Again, Ali is giving them 2 meals a day, plus lots of hay, including hay in the field as well. And she's bringing them in during the peak of the day, and it's normally out evenings and back in the mornings. So in the extreme heat, they're actually inside the stable and keeping cool. So what's normally a nice, enjoyable period on the small holding in the summer, and a little bit easier, is actually proving A, costly, and B, it's also more time. All to do with the weather we're suffering. But I'm so glad we've got those 300 bales. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. I think I worked it out. It's probably good enough for 7 or 8 months. And normally when we start feeding in September, October time, that will get us through to April for the spring grass. That's all we'd need. But we've been feeding in July and August already. So that 300 won't be enough. We will definitely have to supplement that at some point over the next, over the winter period. Okay, there you go. Insight into the small holding in the summer when it's very hot and very dry. If you enjoyed it, as always, please thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned. More videos coming very soon.